ASMRcane, and this is my first ASMR video on YouTube. Just a short introduction, I am from the UK and I have been experiencing autonomous sensory meridian response from a very early age. At the time I obviously couldn't put my finger on what it was that was happening, and I thought there was something wrong with me because nobody else I knew was experiencing the senses that I was receiving from certain things, with especially one teacher in particular, whose voice would drive my senses crazy. The purpose of this video is basically going to be a mic check, and it's going to be a reading video, just to make sure my microphone levels are okay. So if anybody does watch this video and they care to comment about the quality of the sound, then please let me know if anything needs changing in regards to the microphone. The book that I have chosen is possibly going to bore some of you. I find it very interesting as I'm a student of law and doing a law degree. So the first book I came to is The History of English Law Before the Time of Edward I, Volume 1. It's by Sir Frederick Pollock and Sir Frederick William Maitland. So I will begin, and while I skip the preface to the book, I will also take the time to apologise if there is any metallic sounds on the video, as my dog has kindly decided to perch himself next to me and is falling asleep, actually, because of me whispering and looking at him. Every time I seem to whisper, he seems to close his eyes and start nodding off. So, we'll begin with Chapter 1, The Dark Age in Legal History. Such is the unity of all history, that anyone who endeavours to tell a piece of it must feel that his first sentence tears a seamless web. The oldest utterance of English law that has come down to us has great words in it, words such as bishop, priest, and deacon. If we would search out the origins of Roman law, we must study Babylon. This at least was the opinion of the great Romanist of our own day. A statute of limitations must be set, but it must be arbitrary. The web must be rent, but as we render it, we may watch whence and whither of a few of the severed and ravelling threads which have been making a pattern too large for any man's eye. To speak more modestly, we may, before we settle to our task, look around for a moment at the world in which our English legal history has its beginnings. We may recall to memory a few main facts and dates, which, though they are easily ascertained, are not often put together in one English book, and we may perchance arrange them in a useful order, if we make the milestone of the centuries. By the year 200, Roman jurisprudence had reached its zenith. Papinian was slain in 212, Ulpian in 228. Ulpian's pupil, Modestinus, may be accounted the last of the great lawyers. All too soon they became classical, their successors were looking backwards, not forwards. Of the work that had been done, it were folly here to speak, but the law of our little town had become ecumenical. The law of our little town had become ecumenical. Law alike cultured in Greece, yet though it had assimilated new matter, new ideas, it had always persevered its tough identity. In the years 200, 6 definite legal history if we measure only from the 12 tables were consciously summed up in the living and growing body of the law. Dangers lay ahead. We notice one in a humble quarter. Certain religious societies, congregations of nonconformists have been developing law, internal law, with ominous rapidity. We have called it law, and law it was going to be, but as yet it was, if the phrase be tolerable, unlawful law, for these societies has an illegal and criminal purpose. Spasmodically, the imperial law was enforced against them. At other times, the utmost that they could hope for from the state was that in the guise of benefit and burial societies, they would obtain some protection from their communal property. But internally, they were developing what was to be a system of constitutional and governmental law, which would endow and oversee every congregation with manifold powers. Also, they were developing a system of punitive law, for the offender might be excluded from all participation in religious rites, if not from worldly intercourse with the faithful. Moreover, these various communities were becoming united by bonds that were too close to be federal. In particular, that one of them, which had its seat in the capital city of the empire, was winning a preeminence for itself and its overseer. I will stop